Hey everyone, it's Evan here from the Trade Risk on Wednesday, July 12th, here with a midweek market recap video. We're actually going to be a little bit shorter today because I need to run right after this video. So we're going to cover the market environment. That's probably it. Maybe jump into some other markets, but it'll be a little bit shorter this time around. So with that, let's get into the action here. The S&P 500 having a nice bullish, impressive day today, up 78 basis points here, and you can see we're gapping right up and pushing right into this prior resistance level. Let's take a look at the weekly chart first. I think this tells the nice story here. You can basically see since June we've gone nowhere in the S&P 500. We've moved sideways in between, call it 2420 and 24. I've been calling it 2442. You can see we closed at 2444, but this general sort of 25-point range here in the S&P 500 is where we've been chopping around. Now we are heading back to the upper end of that range. Now if we go down to the daily chart, you can see we have some momentum behind this market this time. We've got this gap higher that really didn't get even an attempt to get filled this morning. It was basically a gap up and then just go, and we basically grinded higher throughout the day and finished close to the highs of the day. So impressive from that stance. You can see we left behind this dull opening week of trading. So Monday was very quiet, choppy. Tuesday a little more volatility, but ended up being just a quiet, choppy day. And then until today, of course, where we had this gap higher above this trend line that's extending from the mid-June highs here, and then again back into this resistance zone. So we are at a point where we have failed repeatedly for 5 or 6 weeks. Will this time be different? I mean, we're approaching it with some fresh momentum. That is the constructive part of this. We definitely had some momentum here back on the 19th, and that clearly gave way and basically was the top of the market there until we started to pull back, and now we're getting our sort of next highest close here. So something to pay attention to into the end of the week. Can the bulls hold on to this strength? Can we close above 24, 42, 45, this general area here, close strong, and then start to emerge from this 5 or 6 week consolidation as we enter earnings season? That's really what we're going to be paying attention to. Volume today was on the light side, kind of in par with seasonality, though I suppose coming in under the 50-day moving average of volume, but again, fairly par for the course. So I think really that pretty much sums up everything. Long-term uptrend, bulls starting to get some momentum for the first time in a while, really since June 19th, which is really almost a month of trading. The bears have sort of been in control, or at least it's been choppy to sideways to down, however you want to define it, in the short term. And now we're finally seeing that momentum surge to the upside. So have to see if the bulls can carry with that strength into the end of the week. And I'd be paying attention to essentially right where we closed. Can we finish strongly on the week into Friday? Now, if we go to the Nasdaq had a very impressive day today, up 1.2%. Certainly much more strength than I would gave the Nasdaq credit for. I certainly thought there were better opportunities out there to leave the Nasdaq kind of alone to either just chop around or go sideways, and it's clearly proven me wrong, where it's had a very nice move back up to this area here, which again is a resistance area. This is where we failed back in late June, and you can see we're really close to it again. Strong momentum, strong gap higher today, and really not looking back, no real attempt to fade that or fill that gap from this morning. And 8 and 20 period starting to curl back over. We are up 4 days in a row coming into this prior resistance level. So again, caution probably advised to be chasing this. If you're tactical, if you're active, if you're very short term, you can certainly be all over this volatility and movement, but I'd be, again, a little cautious here, but who knows? I was cautious down here as well. So Nasdaq, nice strength today, coming back into favor here and into a prior resistance level. And then the IWM, a bit more of a fade today, noticeable fade than these other major indices, but still back to the upper end of the range. From a big picture, zooming out here or even going to the weekly chart, I think this paints the nice picture here. Look how orderly this consolidation and chop has been. So really, we've gone 6 weeks in the process of week 6 now, chopping between 139 and call it 142. So just a 3-point range here in the IWM, and we've gone absolutely nowhere since the beginning of June. So this upper bounds here, the highs from this week and the lows from this week. That's the clear sort of goalpost to pay attention to, especially on that weekly closing basis. Which way do we move out? Which way do we ultimately break out? And again, there could be, certainly nothing says there can't be multiple weeks of continued chop in this range before that breakout happens. So that's the market overall. Bulls picking up momentum. We are notably at some short-term resistance points or multi-week resistance points even. So pay attention to those. See how the week closes. But again, bulls, see if they can get that continuation. See if they can get more follow-through into the end of the week. Let's quickly run through some other markets. I get a little bit more time. So TLT, strong week so far, up 1%. A much needed week, given that TLT's been kind of in a sell-off mode ever since this 128, ever since breaking this trend line here. We found some support. We found buyers step in right at this kind of prior breakout zone here, right under 123. So 8 and 20 period, they've already curled over, bearishly aligned. I'd like to see, can we get more of a bounce here? Can the bulls really demonstrate a bit more of support here? It's not too interesting to me right now, just sort of a spectator in this market, but got that breakdown. Let's see now how far the bulls can bounce us here and watch again that weekly close. USO, so oil, also seeing some constructive price action today, up 65 bips and bouncing or putting in an attempted higher low here. If you recall the last video, we talked about, if we are to see some tactical sort of short-term bottom get put in, or if we are going to see, some type of move off of these lows, we'd really love to see a higher low get put in, maybe around that $9 level. So far, it does look like it's happening. 8 and 20 period, very sideways here, so you got to be very careful not to get chopped up. From my standpoint, I'm still not that interested in oil at all at this point. For you guys that are more tactical, short term, you may find some opportunity here. Volume picking up just a bit today, but I'd really like to see this over 960, taking out a prior swing high, and then you're starting to get, at that point, a series of higher lows and higher highs. So pay attention to that. Looks like we got $9 on the bottom end of the swing, 960 or so on the upper end. Natural gas finding some support this week as well. This 650 level, remember we flagged that from the March lows, and this is the point where we've been dancing around it. A little bit volatile last week, undercutting that level, but we've quickly come back above it with this gap higher, and we're trying to hold in there. So again, tactically, if you're nimble, you can probably be involved in this, looking at potentially a double bottom here from a bigger picture perspective. But again, still has plenty of work cut out for the bulls in this market. And what else do we have? Gold. Let's check out gold here. You can see bouncing back today into just an ugly looking sort of bearishly aligned 8 and 20 period moving average. So sellers have been in control here. This is kind of the general area we've been bouncing in gold though. Take a look at 115 going back here. So if we got this as a potential low, the lows from May, the lows from March, so all kind of dancing around this, call it 114.50 to 115.50 level. This is where the selling has kind of slowed down, and we've seen those bounces materialize. Maybe that happens this time. Still doesn't look super attractive to me. Silver getting a little more of a V shape, maybe a little more of a capitulation move here. Gold looks kind of more lackluster. Silver looking a little more meaningful in this potential bottom here. So again, you're still fighting this steep downtrend that it's been in basically ever since April, topping out here, where we've had this kind of two-legged move down. So you still need to be cautious, still need to be nimble. Active traders probably, again, your wheelhouse right now from a structural swing perspective. Position trader, I don't see too much to really like at this point. And I think that is everything, and I need to run. So thank you for watching. Hope you're doing well out there. Talk to you again soon. If you're new here to the videos, do subscribe to our channel. Put these updates out a couple of times a week. So if you like these videos, do subscribe to stay up to date. Thanks again for watching, and have a good rest of your day.